the thing that stood out from one afternoon session in Brisbane with those guys is that Marshy and I had known each other for a long time. And, it's like you develop friendships. I'd known Eddie Reese for a long time, and, you get to know wonderful people all over the world in this sport. And Marshy and I were talking, and the question I asked him is one that I ask a lot of coaches. I said, if you were going to recruit someone to your program, but you weren't allowed to use physical indicators, so you couldn't look at their best high school times, you couldn't look at their best US age or open times, you couldn't test them. If you were going to recruit them on a non-physical quality, what would it be? And he said, commitment. And I said, agree with you. I said, the problem is, Marshy, is, as you know, we can measure physiology, speed, agility, endurance, power, and we can coach those things. The issue we've got is that coaches who've been in it for a while know that commitment is key, because once you say the athlete is committed, it takes what it takes. There are no excuses. You just get the job done. The challenge is, what is commitment? If I try to coach that in my training programs, how do I coach commitment? Now, David Marsh came up with this, and I always credit him, and because it was so simple in its understanding and definition. And the beauty is, from this understanding, you can coach commitment, because he said, you know what I think, and this is David Marsh talking. He said, you know what I think is that the difference between an athlete who's committed and not committed, he said, it's like the difference between the easy way and the hard way. And he said, I think that a committed athlete, when given a choice, and the word, when he said choice, Hawke, that's changed the last 10 years of my thinking, 7 years of my thinking, that he said that when you give a committed athlete the choice of doing things the easy way or the hard way, they will choose the hard way, or if you like, the easy way and the right way, they will choose the right way. And it just happened that Lochte was in the pool doing some steady aerobic work. And Marshy, it was again a magic moment, like the Perkins issue, that Marshy said, let's walk with him for a while. I mean, what an opportunity to walk next to Lochte with David Marsh. And he said, when he gets to the flags, like every swimmer in the world, he's got a choice. He can breathe inside the flags. He can decelerate. He can spend time on the wall by being a bit too tightly tucked. He can have a rest on the wall. He can come up before the flags. He can breathe on first stroke. Or he, not me as coach, he can choose to not breathe inside the flags, to accelerate in and out, to explode off the wall, to not breathe until his ankles are way past the flags, kick powerfully to the surface, not breathe first 3 strokes, and continue. And then Marshy said, let's see what he chooses. And Marshy did nothing, no signals, nothing, just, and then of course Lochte, being the great underwater practitioner that he was, chose to do things the right way. And we went out, we talked about this for hours, but then what that's done, Hawke, when I do courses and conferences now with coaches, is I say, guys, it's about choice. Instead of saying to the athletes, you will do this, you present options and then give them the opportunity to go, what would happen if I didn't breathe there? What would happen if I exploded off the wall? What would happen if I breathed every 3 and fly instead of every 1? What would happen if I came to the middle of the lane with 10 meters to go in every repeat and exploded race style to the wall? That's the beauty of this concept of the power of choice, is that once swimmers go, and I'm not talking about 5-year-olds, once swimmers have got, if it is to be, it is up to me. If I choose to do this the right way, the cumulative effect of that is going to give me what I want. But that all came from David Marsh saying 2 things. Easy way, hard way is the definition of commitment. And it's about the choices that the swimmers make. And, again, I've got nothing against physiology. As I say, some of my best friends are physiologists, but I just don't think physiology is the cornerstone of coaching success. I just think it's a tool. And the more I spend time with people like Carew and Marsh and some of the others I've had the chance to work with, the more I'm convinced that we overplay physiology and we underplay coaching.